Hello again, this is Tina right here for Week 6, Political Neutrality, prepared for MPA 540, Public Personnel Management, and led by Dr. Beth Groves. Today I'd like to discuss a brief history of the Hatch Act, some do's and don'ts according to the state of Louisiana's employees' ethics policies on political pressure, and my interpretation of the need for the act today. So let's get started. During Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal era, a scandal was exposed and the Act to Prevent Pernicious Political Activities, or the Hatch Act, was introduced in response. In 1938, Harry Hopkins, director of the Works Progress Administration, or the WPA, had promised promotions or jobs in exchange for votes in the U.S. Senate election in Kentucky. This area was coming off the Great Depression, and employment meant a big deal at this time. In response, Senator Carl Hatch brought the Hatch Act to the floor, and it was passed into law on August 2, 1939. The law was enacted to prevent federal employees from engaging in political activities while on the job, and was designed as a protection to federal employees to prevent them from encountering political pressure while at work. The Hatch Act reinforces the Pendleton Act of 1883 and Wilson's Dichotomy of 1887. The Pendleton Act attempted to eliminate the spoils system and reward federal positions based on merit of the applicant rather than political or social influence, and Wilson's dichotomy states that administration of public service should be separated from politics. Initially written to apply to federal positions, many states and local governments are also subject to the provisions within the Hatch Act, particularly those governments that receive federal funding. In the state of Louisiana, the provisions under the Hatch Act are covered in the employees' annual ethics training. Following provisions apply to classified positions, those employees that were hired in an open and competitive manner. In summary, here's some do's and don'ts of the provisions. Do, vote. You're allowed to act as a poll commissioner. You can support or oppose issues of public debate. You can attend free or open to the public political functions where all candidates are invited to represent their platform. And you can support or oppose issues of tax referenda, constitutional amendments, or bonded indebtedness. Do not be a candidate for political office or partisan elections. Do not interfere with an election. Do not solicit or receive political contributions. Do not engage in political activity while on duty, in a government office, while wearing an official uniform, or using a government vehicle, or wear buttons or hats on duty. Do not solicit or discourage political activity of anyone with business before their agency. Do not campaign by showing public support or opposition of a candidate. This includes social media support or opposition actions. Do not volunteer time, effort, property, or anything of value in support of opposition of any candidate or party. This includes yard signs. Now, in the state of Louisiana, if you live in a shared household with a spouse, your spouse is allowed to have campaign material on your property, but it has to be the direct opinion of your spouse, not you necessarily. So, do I think that these provisions are important today? I do. In today's public service, we need to work in an environment that is free of political pressure, and that allows us to perform our duties to all citizens regardless of their affiliation. So I think it's important that we're not pressured either by superiors or by the administration that we work for in order to toe the line or keep the vote on. So thank you again, and I hope you guys had a great Easter. I look forward to listening to your discussions.